banner on NESN as well. Ountae Campbell and I talk about the latest with the Celtics, and we react to this Luka trade news. Hold My Banner is available on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, get in here. We have so much to chat about. On Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas here, and I'm not rolling alone. Oh, no. Kasey Hudson with me. Ountae Campbell, you know what we call him, the walking, talking triple-double. He's with us as well to break down all. Yeah, Case, I know. It's a lot.
Somebody should have told me that ahead of time. I feel slightly disrespectful. I was like,
it's a lot of pressure with that nickname, too.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
of course, coming up, Luka's on the move. We're going to break all this down because it is insanity. I still feel like it's fake and I'm in a fever dream, but no, it's real. Plus, it's officially Super Bowl week, so Kasey and I will get you ready for the big game, and we'll hear from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce before the fame, before all the Super Bowls, before Travis or before Taylor Swift was in Travis's life. With all the cutaways, taking all the camera work away from him, we'll break all that down as well. So let's get started here. Usually, here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, we start with what's trending. But clearly, this is trending. This Luka move. Ountae, we bring you in because as we look at the tweets from Shams, when this happened, you and I were texting, and I kept writing the same thing. Fake news. This isn't real. Here's a tweet from Shams here, and you kept telling me, oh, no, Trav, it's real.
It is real, man, and I kid you not. I woke up this morning, and I felt like I was in a fever dream last night. It was insane to get this news straight to my phone. My friends were blowing up my phone. You were blowing up my phone. My mom texted me saying, is this real? Nobody believed it. It was insane.
Sheesh. Well, it is real. I mean, Case, your reactions as we look at all the details here for Luka going to the Lakers and now, obviously, Anthony Davis going to the Mavericks.
Well, first I thought, okay, Sham's first sham just got released on the internet. We know what the internet likes to do sometimes. You love it and you hate it. But then once you realize it's for real, and I don't know about anybody else, but I know that when Twitter started really popping off, you had to double check the fake accounts. So I kept going to this man's account like, this is not the account. Like, this isn't the normal check mark. But of course, for me, the initial thought when I guess I started to wrap my brain around this being for real is the drama. The drama. How did we get to this point, and who do we point the finger at? And I'll just say, like, there's a lot of things I saw online, but Mark Cuban, I think he's somebody that woke up just catching up to all of this as well. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the drama.
Yeah, Brendan, we can roll the Cuban quote because – listen, he was asked about trading Luka in 2020. Mark Cuban said, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer's office preparing for a divorce. Catch me outside. How about that? I mean, Mark Cuban going hard for his boy Luka. We know Cuban no longer involved in Mavs operations, and I guess, I mean, Tay, I'll come to you with this. Is this not the new Mavericks ownership group just being like, yeah, we don't want to pay this guy? You know, he was due for the super max. Yeah. I mean, they've slandered this man on the way out of the door, saying he's out of shape and all these kinds of things. Clearly, can't we always follow the money here, Tay? They just didn't want to pony up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely where I went to first is like, they had an opportunity to have conversations with him this summer for an extension, and they were looking at that supermax deal, $345 million. They were like, are we sure that we want to pay a guy that much who doesn't play the other side of the basketball? Which we are very well of noting that Luka does not guard. He will not play defense. When he does, he's a very, 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 very special player.
Yes,
but a lot of the time we don't get that. So, of course, that's the news that I'm excited, like crazy about is like, hey, they don't want to pay him. But what I'm really nervous about is what are the Mavericks going to do in the long term now that they don't have Luka? Are they going to trust Anthony Davis to be the guy that bridges them into the future? Are they going to trust Kyrie at 33 and Anthony Davis at 31 to be those guys that kind of keep them going for long term? You talk about, hey, they fat shame Luka, right? Calling him fat on the internet and all this other stuff, right? And that really comes down to him not being available. They were upset that he got hurt on Christmas, that he has been out for a calf injury since then. But What about AD? What about Kyrie? Those dudes have missed major minutes and major playoff moments for their respective teams back in the day as well. So it's a little nerve-wracking for me that they went all in on ghost mode. Hey, we only want AD. We're only talking to the Lakers and maybe one other team that's being reported that they talked to, right? But their focus was on AD, and they obviously love what Kyrie has been given to them. But I'm a little nervous that they were saying, hey, health and defense is the reason that we don't want Luka here, but health has been an issue for their two big stars now.
Yeah, I think those are great points. I still just go back to the money. I really do. I can't get around this case because I just think, why would you trade someone so young in the prime of their career? I hear what Ountae's saying with defense, but Luka at the same time showed us during that playoff run last season. When I'm dialed in, when I play, yes. That's fair. But when I'm dialed in, when I play defense, I can dominate on both ends of the floor. Now, if I'm the Mavericks front office and coaching staff and all the people around Luka, I am on him to stay there. That's on them. I think that's part of your job to keep this guy engaged. I'm not saying, he doesn't need to take some self-responsibility here, Case, but I look at it as the Mavericks fumbled this too. You're choosing to not pay this guy and to let him walk. He's entering the prime of his career. That will come back to haunt you. Instead, why didn't you do the work to stay on top of him to be in the best condition? And then if you were doing that and that comes out, and we'll hear all that nowadays, we'll know all these stories, Case. If it does come out that they were indeed hounding this guy and he was pushing back, then I understand in theory trading him, but why the Lakers? You could have got a better haul from anywhere else.
Because they wanted AD. They wanted AD.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and he has that relationship with Pelinka, Nico Harrison. So, I just think that really pushed everything upon it, but, it is what it is.
It was short-sighted. It was short-sighted because they're putting too many chips on AD, and I think you pointed out something tremendous. He hasn't always been the healthiest guy. You're putting somebody in a position to put the weight of a team on his shoulders, and he's past his prime. Not to say that he's not bringing good game to the court, but he's past his prime. You trade up a guy who's 25 years old.
That's right.
And I think something to emphasize, let's put a highlight over some. He's not from this country. He's 25 years old. When you're getting instilled in what you need to do to be the best athlete possible, talk to some of the top athletes in every sport right now. They didn't start figuring out what was best for them until 28, 29, 30, and then they started applying that to their game. So that was such a cop-out, even if he was giving some pushback, to not spend the time to teach him how to help himself, because now you just put a revenge chip on his shoulder, toss him over to the Lakers for AD. I mean, I'm still not going to get past that one, in my personal opinion.
And I love that you brought up that point, because looking at this from Luka's perspective, right, he's going to get an opportunity to face off against the Lakers on February 25th. Against the Dallas Mavericks. See, I can't even. I'm saying the wrong teams. I still believe he should be on the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he gets the opportunity to play against the Mavericks on February 25th. But the biggest thing about this is he gets to be with LeBron James, who has been the standard for being healthy and putting into your body
longevity,
and spending millions of dollars on his body and health and leadership and all this other stuff. So we know LeBron's career is sunsetting, so he has the opportunity to learn from LeBron James, whether it's rest of this year, next year, 2 more years, whatever LeBron has left in the tank. He has the opportunity to learn how to take care of his body with the Lakers. So essentially the Mavericks just gave him an opportunity to succeed at the highest level, and they should be nervous about that 5 years down the line.
That's why I actually think the Lakers won the trade. And I want to get into this of who do you think won, the Mavericks or the Lakers here. I'm going to say the Lakers because of everything that you both laid out. This guy's 25 years old. He's going to learn from LeBron. He has to now be pissed off and embarrassed that this happened to him. If anything can create a chip on your shoulder, it is this. It may not be losing to the Celtics in the finals, which I thought, and Ountae, you remember this, we talked about this on Hold My Banner last season. Yeah, I thought the Mavericks losing to the Celtics would be enough fire under Luka to come in condition, best condition of his career, ready to go, ready to get back to the finals and win it. Clearly, that wasn't the case. At least the Mavericks certainly don't think it was the case with him. And we're hearing reports that he's way out of shape right now in his rehab. So, listen, this should be it. You're in La La Land. You're with LeBron. You can learn from him, but LeBron's on his way out. And then it's your franchise. You're the face of LA. So I would think this will light a fire under Luka when he is dialed in. And I know that's a big when and if and all these things. But when he is, he's one of the best in the game. That's why I'm taking the Lakers. That I think they won this trade, big picture. I get short term, maybe it works out for the Mavericks, but I think big picture, how can you not say the Lakers won this trade? Case, do you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agree, because also in some ways the Lakers added the right younger elements to this. So you're kind of bringing that big picture concept into it, but it might not be as long as some people may think. Something else to keep in mind is that what has the NBA been known for? Kind of trying to make these all-star teams happen, and impatience has become a part of the DNA of roster building and GM decision making. And I think with this one is where the Lakers definitely won, because now you're going to be potentially grooming some great skill set, great minds, new face of the franchise underneath you, so that this isn't something that's just going to play out over the next 2 years. You're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And if he does learn from LeBron, then this is somebody who can put his skills to the court for, nearly a decade to come. He's 25 years old. I can't get past that point.
It's crazy.
How do you give up a guy at 25 years old who has been one of your pivotal players in any playoff potential that this team has ever had?
Yeah. I think it's tough. I hate this question, honestly. Who wins a trade, right? I think in the short term, if you ask me who's winning this trade over the next 2 or 3 seasons, I personally believe the Dallas Mavericks won this trade. Now, if you're asking me in the long term, maybe it is Luka. But if you're asking me right now, if I have to give you both a definitive answer, it's a lose-lose trade. Lose trade.
I didn't think you were going there.
Why?
Rob Pelinka,
Unpack.
Nico Harrison, you have failed both of your organizations.
Wow.
Rob Pelinka, you have given your team another LeBron James. LeBron James has done a lot of great things as a Laker. Don't get me wrong. He won the championship there in the bubble. I will give him that. But every other year since then, and all the years before then, it's been very, very ugly playing the LeBron James style of basketball. The dribble, me. LeBron has not been playing defense as a Laker, which is the honest truth. He's been standing straight up and down. If Luka Doncic comes in and plays like the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic with the Lakers, he will not bring you guys a championship in the time that you think that he can. That's just my honest opinion.
Wait, so
I'm
quick
with Nico
question.
Harrison on that.
Quick question, because you mentioned LeBron not showing up defensively for the Lakers over time. Do you think Luka might actually tap more into defensive abilities? Because you can't have 2 LeBron-style playing guys at the same time, or else he's going to hurt himself.
100%. I think that he has to. In order for them to win this trade, like you guys are telling me they did, right? He has to tap into the defensive side, and he has to be able to do it for long periods of time. Like Travis said, he did it for about 15, 20 games in the playoffs, right? Yeah. But other than that, he hasn't really shown us the ability to do that over a long period of time. So I am saying that if Luka, I have no idea. I'm not talking to Luka. I don't know how this dude is wired, right? All I know is from what he's shown me up until this point, he is not a defender. He does not play defense. He is not interested on it. That's the 99% of the time, Luka, that we get. Now, going back to where I think the Dallas Mavericks messed up with this trade is that the Dallas Mavericks are not good enough to win an NBA championship right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I cannot put my faith in the fact that Kyrie is going to be healthy and available and ready to play, because once again, he had a great playoff series too, but then once he got to the finals and faced against the Celtics, he disappeared. And then the other years previously, when he was with the Nets, when he was with, all these other teams, he didn't show up. Ever since he's left Cleveland, he's had injury after injury after injury in the playoffs. Yeah. So I can't say that Kyrie is going to be healthy enough to be on the court. Same thing with Anthony Davis. He's missed a lot of time. He's not shown up in playoff series where they needed him to show up. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a credit to playing Bron ball. Maybe now that he's not playing Bron basketball, he will have the opportunity to show up more on the offensive end for his team. But I just think at the end of the day, both teams missed the mark, especially the Lakers, who I'm hearing are frantically searching for a center. Who, you basically have this small window of having LeBron James something left in the tank for him, and you don't have a big to protect the paint for him. This is one of the worst defensive teams in the league, gotta be now, with LeBron and Luka standing next to each other with no center to protect the paint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the West standings even right now. Lakers are 5th, Mavericks are 8th. I would think the Lakers right now, that's why I say short term.
Yes.
Obviously, it's pretty obvious to me the Mavericks won the trade in the short term.
Yes.
But I think over time, the Lakers can build around Luka, not just for the foreseeable future, but much deeper into the future as well. Remember, this show is interactive, so we need to hear from you, especially at a time like this. Luka gets traded. We need to hear from you. Email us at chat@nesn.com. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag NESNChat. I'm looking at the sidebar here while we talk. A lot of reactions coming in on this trade as well. Max Crosby weighing in, Joel Embiid, Patrick Mahomes, Paul Pierce, a number of athletes weighing in on this. Let's get into it, Brendo. Let's start with Max Crosby because I saw that on the sidebar. Excuse me, they did not just trade Luka. Yes, they did, Max.
Yes,
okay, at least he sort of accepted it. I was in denial all night. Joel Embiid getting involved as well. Tweeting, I mean, all these athletes. Wow, no effing way. Effing way, Joel Embiid. Believe it. Patrick Mahomes preparing for another Super Bowl Sunday. Tweeting, I'm sick right now.
I couldn't believe he was still awake.
Watching film, dog.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce, our old friend, getting involved as well. Trade Bron and Bronny back to Cleveland. Build around Luka is the only way to save the Lakers. So, of course, Paul Pierce is going to take shots at the Lakers.
And LeBron.
Of course. CJ McCollum getting involved as well. Got to pack 10 bags just in case. Nowadays, if the Don got traded, only Lord knows.
Man.
I feel you. How about Weezy F, baby? Don't forget the baby. Lord have mercy, because my Lakers are obviously merciless. Well, I don't understand. How many teams does this guy have? This blank about to be crazy, Slime. Laker Luka. Wow. So he's a Packers fan, a Lakers fan. Like, I can't keep up.
No, he's a
Who
wannabe
knows?
Drake.
Who knows?
Like,
Right.
Who knows?
I can't keep up.
He's got a-
D-Book also weighing in. So obviously the NBA world is just, going crazy with this news.
They did keep their word, D-Book. They did keep their word, by the way. That is funny.
that was rough.
Is this one of those things we're all going to look back and be like, where were we when this news broke? So I was just telling you two that I was watching Gladiator 2 late last night, and this news broke at the end of that movie, and it was, let me just tell you, the movie stunk, okay? But this news, I was in such a haze. I was just like, this can't be real. Ountae told me it was real. Where were you two when the news broke? Will you always remember this when Luka got traded?
Yeah, man, I can tell you where I was. I was brushing my teeth, putting my skin mask. No, I don't have a skin mask, but
That was actually me, I'm sure.
Skincare routines.
I was doing my bed routine. Telling my boys, hey, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Blah blah blah. It's great. We'll do this. We'll watch some NBA. Whatever. And then next thing I know, my phone is ringing off the hook. And I'm like, this is insane. This can't be real. I'm tweeting just like the rest of these NBA and NFL superstars, being like, there's no way that this happened. And man, it was a crazy moment. But yeah, what about you, Kasey?
I'm embarrassed. I was asleep.
Oh,
I look.
Fair.
Beauty sleep. I was asleep. But I'll say this. I heard something or whatever, my dog or something. So I woke up very briefly. I always check the phone to see what time it is. Yeah. Saw the breaking news thing, and then it got blurry, and I went right back to bed. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh no, I actually read that at 1:55 a.m. Or whatever time it was. Yeah. And then at that point is where all morning I was just processing if it was for real. I told you guys I had to keep checking Twitter to make sure it was the right accounts and stuff. Yeah. And at that point I was like, well, who needs coffee this morning? Because the shooketh was enough caffeine for me.
I know. Hey, it's great for us. It gives us something to talk about for sure. All right, with the Celtics off to a shaky start in the new year, fans are starting to question if they can even repeat and claim Banner 19. You can find out everything about the NBA and its culture on NESN's basketball podcast, Hold My Banner. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, let's keep the trade talk percolating here because in front of me, I have a list of the most shocking trades in sports history.
Okay.
Now, maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment because I'm telling you both right now, there's no way. I haven't even looked at these, but there's no way any of these are more shocking to me than what we just saw with this Luka trade. I can't believe it's real.
Right.
I don't think any of these are going to get me to that point, but let's start here. Mariners trade Randy Johnson to the Astros. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I do, and it wasn't as shocking as this trade.
Right?
Not even close.
But although he was dominant, Case, like I do remember thinking back then, like, damn, what are the Mariners doing? This guy is still on top of the world. But it doesn't shock me to the level of Luka getting traded.
No, I think there was enough whispers of the potential. That's one of the biggest shock factors of like what's going on right now. Like, where was the whispers? Did you guys catch it? Because
no,
exactly.
Not at all.
Whispers definitely make it less surprising.
Do you guys believe the reports that LeBron didn't know?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do.
The way that some of the GM commentary has come out, like that's not to be a nerd, but there was no whispers.
Sure.
It's like they woke up and they were like, "All right, the paper's on my desk.
Even
Let me sign this
Pelinka
quick."
thought he was joking when he got the news that he wanted to make this trade happen. So, I think it was very hush-hush. Okay. I don't think LeBron knew about this one.
All right, let's stay with this energy. What do you think his initial thoughts were? Do you think it was like, I got Luka hype? Or do you think it was like, what? What are we doing?
Man, so I heard he found out while he was at dinner after that Knicks game. The Lakers went on to beat the Knicks in the Garden, so he was feeling good. I'm thinking he was probably like, what? Like, we
confused.
lost AD. Like, you know what I mean? Confused, whatever. But, now I'm hearing that he's not going to request a trade. We didn't get that information until this morning. So that tells you he was already a little bit possibly on the fence when he first heard the news. Like, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, shocked and all the same feelings we were having, you know?
Case, you agree?
I'm gonna go with what and shocked. I mean, at this point, and especially athletes of his caliber, and when you're a part of a team like that, you usually think information is funneled through your top athletes. I mean, I know that in Tampa Bay we couldn't do anything without breathing towards Tom Brady. So, I would say shocked and maybe a little pissed, honestly.
Oh, all right. Y'all will remember this one. Timberwolves trade Kevin Garnett to the Celtics. So that was a shocking one, but we knew KG wanted to win later in his career.
Right.
I don't remember being shocked from that. I remember being really happy for KG, to be honest.
I would say the same. I wasn't super shocked. I was more or less like, okay, this is kind of like what's supposed to be happening. The Timberwolves haven't really been able to build a team around him that could be a real championship contender, and he was a real box office dude, so it made sense.
Yeah, on top of that, I mean, I feel like we all kind of knew he was ready to move on, too. So it's just something else that plays into the element of shocking surprises.
Yes.
Willing participants.
Yes.
Yeah, he was sick of losing. I understand. All right, so listen, respect to those of a certain age. I wasn't even thought of for this one. Red Sox trade Babe Ruth to the Yankees. Was anyone shocked?
We were not alive.
Yeah, okay.
And,
I was going to say.
neither were my parents.
Yeah, next.
I don't know if I Googled that one once upon a time.
Was there some sort of curse or something? I don't know. Canadians trade Patrick Waugh to the Avalanche. I only really remember him with the Avalanche, actually.
Yeah.
So that could have been before my time, too, a little bit.
Yeah, I remember being told that this was a big deal when it happened. You know what I mean? But, once again, we're trading an all-NBA player for an all-NBA player. I mean, 2 MVP candidates for each other. I don't think anything is going to top that, and I'm not really seeing that one with this move from the Canadians to the Avalanche.
Well, hockey-wise, it's like you don't leave dynasty. It's like the dynasty is what you live for. It's what you bleed for, and a lot of that it's kind of changing in the NHL now. So the dynasty aspect of it, pretty shook on that one. But I mean, he was such a staple with the Avalanche. I'm sure it made up for it in its time.
He was filthy. I was more of a Hasek guy though. Case we got to get into our hockey goalie talk one day.
Scattered to do.
Celtics trade Isaiah Thomas to Cavs for Kyrie. I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked for that one, but I was like kind of heartbroken a little bit for IT.
Yeah, this is the one that I feel like I don't know what the rest of the list is, but that I feel like it has to be the closest to the shock factor because 2 All-Stars, right? Once again, All-NBA MVP level for Isaiah Thomas coming off with that Celtics. Obviously got hurt, gave this city everything.
I felt bad for him,
You
Ted.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was really, really shocking. I didn't, I thought Kyrie and LeBron had a really good relationship in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
We know LeBron was really kind of controlling everything, that was happening in Cleveland. So it was really shocking. And the moves that happened after this with D-Wade, because I think D-Wade was involved in this trade deal,
Yeah.
right? That sent him to Cleveland as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And Derrick Rose getting involved. So
Right.
all of it was extremely, extremely shocking. And obviously with Gordon Hayward coming over to Boston as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it doesn't top it though, but it was close, Travis. Close.
Yeah, that one was so. I just felt bad for IT. He gave everything to the city, and then he gets moved. But at the same time, then I was excited to see what I thought Kyrie case was going to do here for a long time. Didn't exactly work out that way.
No.
Nah, sometimes it doesn't work out, but I wasn't shocked with this one. It was just more the breakup factor
Yeah.
of it. That's what kind of was like, oh wow, things were really going down like that there.
Right.
So that's probably the part that shocked me the most. But it felt like a clean slate in another level as well for me.
Okay, here's one. Now, I wasn't in the market at this time, but I do remember this. The Raiders trading Randy Moss to the Patriots. Now, I wasn't that shocked at this time because Moss, it just was a disaster with the Raiders. And most people, myself included, thought he was washed.
Yeah.
Thought he had nothing left.
Yeah.
And so even though it was the Patriots and it was Brady and it was Belichick, I just was like, this is just another old man the Patriots have brought in. They're going to try to, resuscitate his career. And what did I know? Because he went nuts. I think I was more shocked at the production that they got for acquiring a Randy Moss than I was him being sent to the Patriots at all. Does that make sense, Case?
It does make sense, but for me, definitely not shocked with this one. I think you kind of alluded to it. Like, we didn't expect him to be hanging up the cleats anytime soon. So
Yeah.
you're looking for that, as you put it, resurrection opportunity or that comeback. And the Patriots at that time, like, it had one of those rosters that you can equate to the Misfits. We've seen
Yeah.
that in different facets and stuff. So who can be shocked and go against a Misfits opportunity? Not
right.
me. So yeah, I'm glad that that was a change that happened in his career and his life.
Yeah, I'm with you, Travis. I wasn't really shocked. I was more shocked that the Patriots squeezed the last bit of juice
they did.
after him because once they re-signed him and then shipped him off to Minnesota again, and then they waived him, and then he played for a gaggle of other teams to finish his career. That's what was really more surprising is that what the Patriots got out of him.
Yes.
I wasn't as shocked that the move happened.
Case, some could say the three of us are misfits. I think it's a term of endearment.
Definitely.
Here's one
I
that
might
was-
have a Misfits tattoo, so it's real.
Oh!
No.
Here's one. Rangers trade Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees. So,
Yes.
okay, shocking, yes. But I was actually more shocked with the Alex Rodriguez to the Red Sox news that then turned out to be Yankees instead. I was more shocked at all the tea and the drama surrounding that. Not so much Rangers to the Yankees. Does that make sense? I was shocked at the love triangle it ended up being.
Shocked or wounded?
Oh.
There's.
Yeah, I'm still hurt, Case.
Okay.
Can you hear it in my...
I was like,
still
I just
hurt.
want to clarify: shocked or wounded?
This could be therapeutic for me. Yeah, I was definitely wounded, I think.
Okay, you know what? I'll go with you on that one. Wounded. I'm not from New England, so I have to be honest on this one. Like it didn't hit me as hard or heavy. I'm not from the Northeast, period. But yeah, from outside looking in, it was like, dang, this is a dramatic move. But I can't say I felt like y'all did. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked and wounded because, if you're not a Yankees fan, you hate the Yankees. That's just how it goes.
That's
you
fair.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was really just like, I can't believe that the Yankees are getting better again.
Right. Okay, here's another one. Folks of a certain age, no disrespect, Bucks trade Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Lakers. Wasn't around, but good for the Lakers, right?
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't around. But when I, go back into my NBA lore, and I'm shocked. I mean, he brought the Bucks a championship, which they never had got. And so to let an MVP player go and go to the Lakers in Los Angeles and do the whole Showtime thing with Magic was very, very shocking. So, yeah, this one is shocking. in my memory. And,
Yeah.
not my
In your
memory.
memory?
In your out-of-body experience.
In your memory?
In my research, okay? You know
I was like, what did I miss
research.
there?
In my research.
No, I'm aged out of this one as well. I didn't mean
Yeah.
to say definitely, like y'all are way older or anything. But I'm aged out of this one. My dad, when he came to America, he became a huge Lakers fan. So I'm sure he
Wow.
had the shock all over his face. But I
Yeah.
can't speak to this one. Sounded shocking from previous Googling.
Well,
yet
now I
again.
want to call him and get him on the phone for this segment. get his take.
Good luck understanding him.
Cowboys trade Herschel Walker to the Vikings for 8 draft picks. Okay, so I don't remember that trade per se.
Yeah.
What I do remember is what the Cowboys did with all them damn picks, and they built a dynasty.
Sure
is
did.
exactly what they did. And just seeing that they got 8 draft picks for Herschel Walker, just to bring it full circle for us three, Mavericks, you could have got more for Luka. I mean, if the Cowboys 8 picks for Herschel Walker, you could have got more for Luka. I know AD's great, but damn it, man, shop him around a little bit. I wasn't shocked with the Herschel Walker trade. I don't even really remember Herschel Walker much.
Yeah, and neither do I. But back to your point about Luka, and the internet's going crazy because
Shop 'em.
Mikal Bridges got 5
Right.
first-round picks. I mean, what did Rudy Gobert get? 4? You know what I'm saying?
It's unreal,
And we're
dog.
talking about Luka for what? 1?
Right.
In 2029? I mean, that kid's in high school.
It's crazy.
It's
bro.
insane.
That's
It's
why I said I'm
insane.
here for the drama. This doesn't
Yeah.
sound. This sounded like there's a lot more to unpack in this situation.
Ooh.
And I'm not even a reality TV gal, so like for me to get there, I know you guys don't know me like that yet, but for me to get there, there's a lot more to unpack with this one. As for the Herschel Walker take, look, all I can speak to on this is maybe the Cowboys need to go back and figure out how to make such a moves to rebuild a dynasty.
Shots fired. You hear that, Gerald? You hear that? Oilers trade Wayne Gretzky to the Kings. So I don't listen. I was too young to even remember him with the Oilers, but I grew up watching Gretzky with the Kings. So thank you, Oilers. I know they had a dynasty and all that, but thank God. I as a kid of the '90s, watching him, it was just cool. Like he's in LA. The Kings colors were cool. Back then, when I was growing up, starter jackets were the shack. So there were kids at school with King starter jackets. That's only because of Wayne Gretzky. I promise you. None of these kids, I knew them. They didn't watch hockey. It was because Gretzky was cool. The Kings were cool, and it was cool to have that kind of swag, that kind of starter jacket. So thank you. But I can't say I was shocked because I don't remember it.
Wasn't gracing this land yet. But
Nope.
what I will say, especially as a hockey head,
Yep.
the shock factor that I would assume, especially if this happened like when I was born, is the fact of the production. I mean, you're talking about a guy which 200-point seasons don't happen like they
Right.
did anymore for starters. Then he had 4 200-point seasons with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you're talking about a guy who was sitting at 149 points before the trade happened. So the production level was high. You can't go against what he was doing and him being the ultimate catalyst of your team to get the job done.
Sure.
But money talks.
Money talks.
And we just talked about selections and picks. I mean, I think Edmonton got like 4 first-round or 4 years of first-round picks out of LA, and the number of guys combined in the trade as well. And then, by the way, $15 million because they couldn't budget their cap space accordingly. So,
Wow.
yeah, there was just a lot of mess involved in that one. And I'm pretty sure like Gretzky talked about the emotions of being traded at that point. So
Yeah.
while it helped hockey get
it did.
the acknowledgement that it needed and bring in some new fans,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I would say that one was a shock if I was walking about.
Some players are better than picks. I don't care.
Yeah.
100 picks, a million picks. When you talk about face of the franchise,
Yes.
face of a league,
Facts.
Wayne Gretzky
Facts.
got traded. And that brings me back to my point. Look, I'm not more shocked about the Wayne Gretzky because, once again, not alive. You know what I mean? I wasn't there for the moment. But it brings me back to this point. For Luka, and for what it means for the rest of the face of the NBA, we see, Jimmy Butler's, possibly getting traded in the next couple of days.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox possibly getting traded in the next couple of days. Look, do what's best for you. That's what this trade means for every NBA player who saw it happen the other night. Is do what's best for you. Forget loyalty. Forget, longevity. Yep. I don't want to play for the same team because all of these teams are going to do what's in their best interest. They could tell you how much they love you. They could tell you how great you are, how they want you to be here forever, like Mark Cuban said. But at the end of the day, when you aren't doing what they need you or want you to do or the level that they think that you should be at, they will displace you. So do what's best for you. And I think every single NBA player got that message loud and clear.
Yeah.
Well, Case, there it is. Now you see why I call him the walking, talking triple-double. He just came in. He did 2 topics with us. He had 50 points, 25 boards, 17 assists. He's all over the place, Case. Now you see why I call him this. Tay, we love you, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
Mavs will be calling you.
That's what he is. If you're enjoying the conversation, be sure to tune in Monday through Friday to Boston Has Entered the Chat. We talk about the latest news and sports in Boston and around the country each and every day. You can find it on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcast. All right, Case, sound the trumpets, release the doves. It's Super Bowl week. We are finally here. I don't know about you, but I can't stand the week between the damn conference championship games and the Super Bowl. It drives me nuts. I don't care about the Pro Bowl.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the Pro Bowl and what it's become, sorry guys, it kind of makes it worse. Like it drags on.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you're like, if I watch one more flag football, something or other. Right. No. It's definitely the worst. But it gives you too much time, but maybe like granular time to properly plan like how you're going to manage Super Bowl, like if you're not on the ground.
Have you ever covered a Super Bowl in your career?
I have. 2017 was the first one I ever covered, and I think I've done 5 Super Bowls.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm older than I look.
No, that's good though.
No, I'm kidding.
So I asked because I've had a chance. I covered a Stanley Cup winning team, a World Series team. Now here in Boston, a NBA championship team, but I've yet to do the Super Bowl.
Really?
That's like the missing part of my career. That's why I asked.
I feel like at this point you kind of get like 2 major coverages, right? At this point of our career, because I got Stanley Cup and then I got Super Bowl.
Right.
And then granted, like the back-to-back Stanley Cup for Tampa Bay, sorry y'all, and then the Bucks home stadium Super Bowl. Yeah, I got that experience. So hometown really came through for your girl in terms of coverage. Yeah.
All right, so you know all about Super Bowl MVPs, which is what I want to talk about. Yeah. Who do you think will be the Super Bowl MVP this time around? We can get into the betting, we can get into the gut feels, whatever you want to do. But as you sort of look at this game now, and this week we really start breaking it down, who do you think's the MVP?
I really hate this question because I think the lock-in is that, it goes to the quarterback. Yeah. And I stand by a number of reasons why that happens. But from a different perspective, and you guys will learn, I'm always rooting for the underdog. While the quarterback is your leader, they're your playmaker.
Yeah.
When it's close games, when you lose or win by 3 points or 1 point, that's your defense. That's your defense holding off the opponent. That's your defense coming through for you because clock management, and we saw it during the playoffs, can really screw a team in terms of having that opportunity to come back and tie things up. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a quarterback. If the Eagles win, though, it's got to be Barkley, hands down. He's gotten them through to this point because of the fact that he is just unstoppable. The guy runs like he's got wings on his back.
Yeah, he does.
And, a rocket underneath both of his feet. But if it comes down to the Chiefs, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. And I have to give that credit where it's due because regardless of what their defense is doing, he makes plays happen.
That's right.
That backyard football is untouchable on top of the psyche and the brain that's conducting everything for the Chiefs.
Yeah. He's going to have a great game because this Eagles defense, to your point, is just ridiculous. By the way, you speak of the quarterback. 7 of the last 10 Super Bowl winners, MVPs, have been quarterbacks. So there you go there. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And that's someone I've been very critical of as the season has gone on because I haven't seen him really stand in the pocket and deliver. Of course, we know him, the runner, but it's really been Saquon Barkley's offense, to your point of what you were saying. But I think this Chiefs defense, well, I talk about the Eagles defense. Hell, the Chiefs have a Super Bowl defense as well.
Yes.
I think defensively, Spagnuolo and those guys take away your strength. So my guess would be it is impossible to stop Saquon Barkley. I mean, Case just told you how unbelievable this guy is. He's like a superhero. But I do think they can maybe neutralize him. So he still could run for 100 yards, but I think he's going to have to earn it. I don't see these big home run runs that we've been seeing all playoffs, or really all season long from Saquon. I think the Chiefs can neutralize him and slow him down, which tells me this game, if the Eagles are to shock the world and win it, is going to be on Jalen Hurts. So from a gambling perspective, plus 370, I would throw a little something on Jalen Hurts, even though I've been critical of him, because I think in order for the Eagles to pull this off, he must have a big game. Remember, just a few years ago, we watched him stand toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes.
True.
Jalen Hurts was unbelievable in that Super Bowl.
True.
Literally made one mistake, a fumble, and it was lights out. That's how they lost.
That's all it takes.
This guy, the way he is, the way he thinks, that chip on his shoulder, that leadership, that stoic demeanor, he's going to come into this remembering that and saying, I will not be the reason we lose this time. It can't happen. So if the Chiefs' defense is focused in on Saquon, that's going to be on Jalen Hurts to bring it home for the Eagles. I think he can.
I see. That's what I think is going to make this game so interesting. I agree. Put the sprinkle in the mix. You can't lose when you sprinkle a little money on odds like that. Right. Put your pizza, your beer money down.
Yeah.
But the only reason I slightly would veer away from the sprinkle on that, or I'll do the sprinkle, I'll veer away from putting large money on it, is because I think you're right. Hurts is going to come into this and say, I'm going to make sure that I check every box that I possibly can as a quarterback.
Right.
My concern is the blitz package that Kansas City is known for, and what they did to CJ Stroud in the playoffs, what they did to Josh Allen. Even though Josh Allen's numbers still looked quite good, he's going to have to rely on the other on the other aspects to get the rest of that play done. And handing off the ball, having your running back group, that's where you got to come in strong on this. And I'm sorry to be annoying, y'all, but I can tell you what, Chiefs are allowing roughly 74 yards on the ground for running backs, but it was one Leonard Fournette for the Tampa Bay Bucks that had those big plays to get down the field. So it's those chunk plays, it's those third down conversions that I think Barkley's going to come in strong. It's the battle of third down conversions sometimes, especially when it gets this close. You know,
you bringing up that Super Bowl, I remember Patrick Mahomes having zero time. Like, this guy was doing triple axles. And, like, he would catch it and just spin around, jump, and throw it because he had no time. Listen, this Eagles defensive line could be very much like that Bucs
defensive line. They got a playbook to pull from.
Yeah.
And I get it. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And yes, they made him MVP because he led a team to a Super Bowl, and it was a new team and stuff.
Sure.
But Ndamukong Suh was the freaking MVP of that game. I mean, he came in with the critical sacks and the timing of those sacks. And when you limit a team to 9 points in a Super Bowl, your defense has to get MVP recognition. But it's Tom Brady, so
yeah. I'm just thinking. I remember Shaq Barrett was on that line too, right? So listen, this Eagles line could be on par with that. We'll see if the Chiefs can protect Patrick Mahomes better than that Super Bowl. Let me ask you this before we move on. Travis Kelce, 18-1. Now, I'm just saying, everyone thinks if the Chiefs win, my man's going to get down on one knee and say, baby, will you marry me?
Oh.
The confetti's falling. I mean, at 18-1, is it not worth a little something? If that happens, he's got to be the MVP. What better for Chiefs Kingdom than Kelce to get MVP, say, I'm going to Disney World, and then say, baby, will you marry me to Taylor Swift? I mean, it could be Travis Kelce's day on Super Bowl Sunday, Case.
I feel like I'm the wrong girl to ask this question, too, because I'm like, dude, if you get down. No, I love Taylor Swift. I love Travis Kelce, but if you get down on one knee and Disney is in the same conversation as you asking for my hand, like, we better have a previous conversation that's one of 3 proposals coming down the pipeline. I swear it. So, I think that honestly, Taylor Swift's so used to the big stage. Travis Kelce's used to it. And something that they've talked about as much as they talk about their relationship as a couple is like they try to not make big moments about themselves.
Right.
And they try not to make it about their partner depending on what's going on. So I think, like, imagine what that's going to take away from everything if Travis Kelce makes that his moment of proposal. And for 2 people that live in the limelight, like, don't you want something a little bit more special?
Yeah, fair.
Like, you're winning the ring. Yeah, you don't.
Right.
Some people play their entire careers and never get a Super Bowl, but
Right.
still, like, I feel like he's going to want to protect that moment for his team.
No, that's fair.
And not make it about him, because it's already about Taylor jumping up
Right.
celebrating,
Yeah.
regardless of what's going on.
Every camera shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would bet that next album from her is going to be called
Ooh.
Three-Peat. Huh? That's a bet I'm willing to make. To watch the full interview with Chris Hogan, catch the latest episode of NESN's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. And you know what, Case? I would not buy that album.
I was about to say, I should have put you on the spot and been like,
No.
give me the chorus for that.
Yeah,
and you
no.
can't repeat three times.
No. All right, let's get into this while we're talking about Travis Kelce. So I couldn't even believe this footage. How cool is NESN? All right, so we have footage of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes on Radio Row during Super Bowl, like way back in the day. Patriots, they were in Super Bowls a lot. So, of
Yep.
course, we sent NESN there back in the day. So let's start with Travis Kelce. Now, at this point, Kelce had been in the league 3 seasons, kind of establishing himself. They had just started calling him Mini Gronk.
I hate it.
I hate it too. But let's take a look.
I mean, Gronk's a great player. I mean, he's a cool guy off the field, so it is what it is. But at the same time, I'm looking to make my own name in the league, and if I'm mini anything, it's Mini Kelce because of my brother in the league.
Well, there's not really much that's mini about you, but what are you able to learn from Gronk's on the field play? I mean, he is very good. You guys play the same position.
I mean, I take bits and pieces from all the film that I watch, whether it be from Tony Gonzalez's old film in Kansas City to watching Greg Olsen or even Gronk nowadays. It's you kind of, that's how you evolve. You keep going and keep getting better. So you see what works and what doesn't work. Gronk's been a testament of a lot of things that have worked out there on the field, and it's hats off to him for all the success he's had.
Well, your division rival Denver Broncos are playing in this Super Bowl, and now Von Miller earlier in the season actually called you fake Gronk. How do you feel about that?
It was a quote-unquote fake Gronk head. So I'm still a little confused by the actual sentence that he put together there, but I feel like I got the gist of it. And if I'm a fake Gronk, that means I got to be a real something. So I guess I'm a real Kelce at the end of the day.
Wow. First of all, Travis Kelce looks exactly the same now.
Exactly.
And I do appreciate he wants to make his own name. I like that about him. He took everything in jest, took everything with a grain of salt, and was like, I'm just trying to make my own name. He certainly has done that. Case, I want to ask you about this, though, because I hate the comparison between these two. I think they're two different tight ends. I think Kelce, I would be willing to give him, receiver-wise, is more prolific than Gronk. And I know Gronk made so many great plays, and I get where I am. But I still think Kelce, the receiver's better. Where Gronk's better is a better overall tight end because he is an all-time, as in GOAT, blocker of tight ends. And then when you add the receiving ability and him just being a large human from outer space almost, I think Gronk, I give him the edge in the GOAT debate.
A Monstar, pull it from
Yes.
Space Jam. But I honestly couldn't agree more. I think beforehand you and I were talking about this. Hate this comparison in
Me
its
too.
entirety. I mean, look at the frame of work between these two athletes, build and size and muscle that they're carrying. Like, I agree that Travis Kelce in the wide receiving aspect, especially because of like the small details.
Yes.
He does the small details extraordinarily well, and his ability to show up in those tight spaces. I mean, covering Travis Kelce, I know we haven't seen it as much this season, and that's nothing particularly against him, but that tight space coverage that Travis Kelce has been known to manipulate and not have to rely heavily on his body but skill set, that's what makes Travis Kelce special. You know what I mean? Where Gronk, it's like you're going against this monster of a man, this frame of a man. Like, good luck getting past that wingspan, and he
Yes.
was able to use a lot of body manipulation in favor to his skill set as well. Middle of the field, all these other things. But I think you guys heard me talk about it with George on Boston is Under the Chat last week. I'm a tight end girl. When you can put your hand in the dirt and shake things up, I mean, you're it. You're all the way it. And Gronk can block his life away.
Yes, he
I
can.
saw him do it not only with the Patriots, but I mean, crucial plays
Yep.
where Gronk was so explosive off the line for Tampa Bay, and he does it injured. I mean, there's certain injuries
That's right.
that Gronk played through that I really don't know if any other tight ends would be able to
That's right.
manage it because of the versatility of the position. So not one and the same, but both of them fantastic.
Well said. All right, Patrick Mahomes. This is Radio Row as well. This is before the combine. Young buck, Patrick Mahomes. Check this out.
I'm really just working on my footwork and just getting my NFL knowledge up in general. And, I mean, that's just going to be the biggest thing for me coming from my system is having NFL knowledge and being able to do the footwork and the drops the way they want them.
So is there more mental preparation that needs to go into this than people might expect?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, the combine, a lot of, they just show the TV part of it with the running and all that, but they don't show all the meetings and interviews you go through. And so the mental thing is a big part of it.
And being a prospect who's expected to be chosen in either the first, possibly second round, definitely high up. Is that nerve-wracking? How do you deal with that?
I mean, not really. I mean, right now all I worry about is just getting myself ready to play at day one. So I go train as hard as I can just to meet, learn as much as I can. So whoever drafts me, if it's the first, second round, whatever it is, I'm ready to go and I can compete for a spot.
Do you have any indication as to which teams might be after you, possible landing spots?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I know a lot of teams need quarterbacks, and so I'm just going to train and hopefully I get picked for the right system, and then I can just go at it in the system that I'm in.
I know you might not admit this, but do you have a preference of somewhere you might want to end up?
No, just whoever will take me, and then I'll learn from there and get in that system and go fight tooth and nail for it.
Yep, still sounds like Kermit the Frog, even then, before he was famous. But I love the humility, and listen, he's got a lot more rings to get, but he is on that GOAT chase, Case.
Oh, yeah. I mean, two key things. Mental, footwork. Who knew he was going
Yeah.
to be dancing around the way he dances around? But looks like the Chiefs ended up being the ultimate fit.
Well, you know as well as I do on Super Bowl Sunday, there's going to be a handful of plays that this guy just takes off. And
Figures out.
for the life of me, I don't understand when we get to the playoffs how these defenses are not prepared for this. Maybe the Eagles will be, but you know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Oh, yeah. It's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. I'd love to know what his contact lens prescription is.
I know. I
need
know.
some
He
help with
is
that one.
special. But I still think the Brady Mahomes stuff is a little premature. Let's see if this guy can three-peat. Tom
Yep.
didn't do it. Let's see if Mahomes can get it done, and then I'm willing to start having some conversations. But right now, you must beat the Eagles first. Kasey and I will give you our predictions all week long on this game. We'll break it down. But in the meantime, in between time, we thank you for rolling with us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. For Kasey Hudson and Travis Thomas, thank you for watching Boston Has Entered the Chat. Until next time, when you enter it again, peace.